This is a little bit funny. I wanted an inside stateroom and I did a guarantee, meaning I let them choose which one they are going to give me. And so we are on, sorry, I walked up the stairs. We are on the port side of the ship. These are all balconies over here. But on this side over here, it's just stuff for crew. We are the only room on this inside section. Seriously, we're the only one. Only one. We are on the final sea day of our 11-day Alaskan cruise tour to Denali aboard the new Amsterdam Holland America Line ship. Let's do a quick interior room tour. Let's go. So I chose an inside stateroom because I cannot sleep when there's any kind of light. And while we were in Anchorage and Denali, we had regular hotel rooms and they did have blinds and things like that. But still, as soon as that sun comes up in the morning, I am awake. And I was already having trouble adjusting to the 4-hour time difference. So we chose an inside stateroom. I'm a little disappointed because in some of the photos and things I had seen that there would be a couch, and we stayed in a different cruise line inside stateroom on Utopia of the Seas over New Year's Eve, and I actually loved it because it had length to it, but this room doesn't really have any length. Let me show you. I'm standing at the door. And so over here's the restroom, over here are the closets, here is the bed. So I do have a little vanity area here, which I like to use, but the bed is against the wall with the 2 nightstands, and that's it. That's our inside stateroom. So quarters are very tight. However, we are campers, and we are used to putting everything away. So the way to deal with something like this is that everything has a place and everything goes back into that place when you're done using it. So let me show you a little bit about how it's organized. Now, this is the last day. We have a sea day on our way to Vancouver. So, you know, things get a little messy in the drawers and things like that. But let me just show you how we organized it, and maybe this would help you as well. So we are used to putting things in tight quarters. So here's the bathroom. Jim's got a few of his supplies here. We've got toothbrush and toothpaste. I've got my retainer in that cup. And then we've just got a few things down here underneath that we use in the bathroom. So it is pretty tight quarters here with the shower and the dreaded shower curtain, but we do have our supplies and things there in the corner. Jim has a little bit of shampoo here, but so, I mean, it's big enough. Like I said, we are campers. We've done this before. Holland America Line does give you bathrobes to use. They gave us those at Denali as well as on the cruise ship. So I didn't pack one. I just used them in both locations. So have you ever been to Alaska before? What would you choose? Are you a veranda girl or boy? Are you thinking you have to have the balcony so that you can see all the wildlife? Or do you want a economic room, maybe one that has a lot of darkness so that you can sleep really well? Let me know in the comments below. Now, my number one issue with having these closets nearest the door is that it's dark. It's dark in here. The hall light, if you want to call this a hall, doesn't really do much good. So sometimes I have to use my flashlight so I can see what I have on these shelves. As far as the closet situation, the first one has a lot of shelves and for hanging shirts. Jim used that. And then the last 2 were for me. One is just for long hanging things. The other has shelving for some of the clothes. And so it's messy right now because we're near the end. But I do have things organized by the category. So the underwear, the undergarments, the sleepwear, the loungewear, all of those might be on a shelf together, as well as then some of the other tops or jeans or things that I might fold and put on the shelf. So let's take a look. So there you go, up close and personal. So that little bag has my dirty undergarments, and then I've got some nightgowns and socks and things that I grab first thing in the morning to run up to the crow's nest to get my tea. And then I've got some blue jeans and some sweatery things that I've worn. And then down below is Jim's shoe duffel bag, and then my backpack that I travel with, and it has my computer and things in it. This is the long hanging closet, and so I've got dresses. Jim has some pants. We have some of our vests and raincoats in here. We like to bring one of these little foldable laundry baskets, and so Jim has some things in there, as well as my shoes are underneath. So the last closet here is for shorter hangers, so if you want to hang up your suit jacket or just some shirts or something like this. It's got a nice place to hang some ties or belts. And then I've got a little carry-on that I will actually use to carry out of here in the morning. But this is mainly Jim's closet. So he, of course, loves his safe, to put his things in the safe, his wallet, his computer, those kinds of things. And then he likes to have his clothes folded up on the shelves. This door also has the full-length mirror, so when you're getting ready, you can check yourself out here. It has a little bit better lighting as the light is closer to the bathroom here, so you can see in this closet better than you can in the one that's over by the door. Another thing that Holland America actually provides you is an umbrella, and it is a pretty big umbrella, which would have been perfect for Ketchikan. However, I didn't want to carry it around. I have a smaller umbrella that I actually keep in my backpack, but I did see a lot of those around in Ketchikan, people using the umbrella provided by Holland America. Now, Holland America is really good about giving you some things, such as if you were on an excursion and you needed a beach towel, you can take this off the ship and use it for free. Just bring it back. It is also something that people might take up to the pool or to the spa. However, they do provide towels up there for you. And then there were 2 robes. I actually opened mine and used mine. I love to have a robe as I'm sitting at the vanity and getting ready, but Jim did not use his. Now, when we took another Holland America cruise and we had a balcony, they actually provided binoculars as well in our stateroom. So we are in an inside room at this point. I see no binoculars. They might think I don't need them because I can't see out while I'm in my room. So one thing that's really cool, I don't know if you can see it that well, but when you walk in front of the closet doors on your way to the restroom, it turns on these little footlights so that you can see your way in the dark. So we have our bed made into a king size bed, and then we each have kind of a nightstand on either side. It does come with a USB port here, and so that was good for charging my Apple Watch, but it was not good for charging my new iPhone. And so I just have some medicines and supplements, and honestly, we had more storage here that I didn't even use. And then Jim had his nightstand with a little portable fan that we brought, and he has loved that. He charges it up and then uses it every night. And then we have a couple drawers, and he has things in them. Lots of storage for your luggage to go underneath the bed, even though we even had some drawers that Jim used for some of his clothes. But I love being able to unpack and put the luggage away. And you might be wondering, what in the world is on your bed? Well, that is a towel birthday cake with lots of stroopwafel cookies for Jim's birthday celebration from our room steward. Isn't that cute? Underneath the bed, there are some more drawers down here that Jim used for some of his clothes. So we do have a couple of hooks. I brought some hooks that are magnetic because they will usually stick to the stateroom walls, but I can't find them, and I don't know what pocket I shoved them in. So this is Jim's kind of little corner. He likes to have, his backpacks and shoes and things ready. They could go in a closet. There's plenty of room for them, but we've done several days of traveling, so now things are getting kind of stacked up. So this is my area where I like to sit and get ready. There were some other things here, like a big silver tray and wine glasses and a bottle of champagne. I made them take all of that out so that I could have room for my things. In this cabinet here, they actually had the hair dryer as well as a makeup mirror to use. And I took the makeup mirror out, I've been using it, and I moved the hairdryer to the bathroom so that I could put all of my cosmetics and toiletries and things that I'm going to use while I'm sitting here. I want to put them out of sight. And so they fit real nice and neat in this little corner cabinet. So we have the light switch, although I have to tell you, the lighting is not good. I actually saw a woman in the restroom for the gym and the spa area for women. So it's more like a changing room with a shower and all of that. And there's a real nice vanity in there. And there are windows in that changing room. A beautiful floor to ceiling window where you can look out. And the first day at sea, someone was in there putting on her makeup because she said, there is not good lighting in my room. And I agree, it's not good. So that's why I kept out the little mirror so that I could use that when I was actually putting on my makeup. But you have the American plug-in. You also have the European plug-in, which is what the hairdryer is. So you've got some options here to use. It's not that bad. We have a little dozer that makes kind of a wind sound noise, so you can plug that in. I have to unplug it if I'm going to curl my hair. And then there's a lot of Christie's mess over here. So we've got a little charger here that has some different outlets, as well as USB and USB-C. And then glasses, because if you're over 50, you understand you got to have lots of glasses, depending on the situation, if I'm going to wear my contacts. And then I've just got some other junk. But I did ask them if they would bring ice, because I love to have ice and a glass and some water before I go to bed when I take my pills. And so he brings me fresh ice every single day. So there's a little metal bar here, and you can actually put in all of your paperwork or whatever you want to, but I like to keep the daily agendas. I like to make a list of where we're going to be and what outfits I'm going to wear. And so anything that they've given us, including the happy birthday card, I've just kind of stacked up over here. So if I'm going to show you what Jim had stacked up, here's what I have stacked up. This is my backpack. I don't take it around the ship, but I do take it when we leave port. And it's usually kind of there tucked in the corner. And then in this cabinet, it's a refrigerator. So you got to open the door all the way, and then you open it up this way. And the cans of water I got with my own drink package. And then I like cold water. So there you can see I hide some of my glasses with water that I haven't finished yet. But everything else that's in this fridge, you actually have to pay for, even if you had the drink package. So you can ask them to remove it if you need more space, but I just used a little bit of space up there on that top shelf, and I'm fine. And regardless of being in an inside stateroom, we have really enjoyed all of the same amenities as just about everybody else. There is a few areas, if you stay in a suite, that you are allowed to go into, such as the Neptune Lounge or even the retreat section. But honestly, even though we are an inside stateroom, we have all of the same amenities as someone who has the ocean view, which is like the window or the porthole, or someone who has the veranda, which is also like a balcony. We have all the same amenities, and we get the same treatment regardless of what type of room we're in. Our room stewards have been phenomenal. They really listened to us with our needs and what we liked in a room, and they've given us exceptional service and a few extra treats for Jimmy's birthday. So here's a big shout out to Allie and Katut for all of the special things that they did, including Jimmy's towel birthday cake. So if you need help picking out a stateroom, I'd be happy to help you with that at Harbor and Holiday Travel Company. So, can we afford more than an inside stateroom? We truly can, but it all comes down to the needs. And I needed a really dark room. But if you are wanting to look at price and do some comparisons, I'd be happy to help you do that. If you're like, oh, Christy, I have to have a veranda. Well, I can help you pick out a veranda and we can find one that's nice and quiet on a good floor for you as well. So everybody's different. Every ship is different. And I love studying the deck plans to try to figure out what would be the perfect room for the perfect client. So there you have it. That's the room tour for room 5074. It was level I, if you look at the different room categories. So it was the highest tier on an inside stateroom. It says that it's considered a forward stateroom, but it's not really forward. We are midway between the forward and the midship elevators. So I'm not hearing a lot of the noises that we might hear if we were in the forward. I'm not feeling the movement that we might feel if we were in the forward. And here is what is so funny. It's the only inside stateroom in this whole entire section. So if you want to sleep during the day, it's a little bit noisier because this is where room service comes up next to me and the big door opens up and then they cart out the room service. But we are early risers, and so that didn't really bother us. We slept so good in this room because it gets extremely dark. So we turn on our little fan, we turn on our little noisemaker, we settle down, pitch black darkness. Lovely. I slept so sound in this room. So even though it's small and I was disappointed that I didn't have a couch, and it went a little bit longer, Jim and I both agreed that we loved this room. And we love the location because it's 11 decks and we're on deck 5. So we walk up, we walk down the stairs. We do take the elevator if maybe we're on 2 and we need to go to 11 or something like that. But most of the time we're just taking the stairs, which we need to after eating all this food. So if you found this video helpful or enjoyable in any way, be sure to like this video. And if you are interested in more videos like this about bucket list travel, then be sure to subscribe to Harbor and Holiday Travel. I'd love to share more information with you about your upcoming vacation. As always, guys, it's been a pleasure to share all that I've learned on vacation with you. And no matter where you go, I hope you find joy in the journey.